So hi there everybody, welcome to cloudy Malmo, Sweden. Feels like it's the first day of fall. Today we're gonna compare the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K camera and the internal Prores 422 codec to the camera that I'm actually shooting this on. It's the Panasonic GH5, and I'm also gonna use the Atomos Ninja 5 and see how the Ninja 5 ProRes codec together with the Panasonic GH5 can pair up against the Blackmagic. Stay tuned. So before I start doing the test, I've actually been shooting with these two setups side by side a couple of days, so I'm gonna throw in some of that footage as well, and I'm gonna leave a mark of some kind in one of the corners so you know which footage is from which camera. With that said, I'm gonna try to use the same setup on both cameras. I'm gonna use the Sigma 18-35, which is a workhorse for a lot of people, and that's why I'm gonna use it. I'm also gonna use the Viltrox adapter, the EF-M2, and I'm also going to use the same filter, which is the Format high-tech filter, and using the same setup will more or less give me some kind of a baseline to what these cameras are doing. And I know that because the sensor is a little bit bigger on the Blackmagic, it's not going to be really easy to frame it properly, but still I'm gonna do my best to do that. So this isn't very scientific. This is more of me trying to do my best to get these cameras in the same ballpark to see how the codec is actually working. So a lot of you people, especially people from Scandinavia, have reached out to me and asked me how come I already have the Blackmagic Pocket 4K and how did I get the Atomos Ninja 5 so quickly. And that's because apart from doing YouTube and doing my own productions, I do work part-time for a company called VooStore. It's a camera online store. Of course, they get the gear really quickly, so a lot of the gear that I'm using is the gear from VooStore, and I'm also using a lot of my personal gear. But for VooStore, I'm doing the VooStore YouTube channel, so if you want to see more videos from VooStore or from me doing more or less the same thing, but here it's my personal thoughts. On the VooStore channel it's going to be more like the technical aspects of the gear. And if you want to see the videos that I'm making for VooStore, which more or less are the same as the ones I'm doing right now, I'll put a link in the description and also in the end of this video, so you can click there and subscribe to those videos as well. One of the videos I'm working for VooStore right now is where I'm comparing the Blackmagic Pocket with the same lens to the Blackmagic Ursa 4.6 Pro. Blackmagic with all the names. So if you want to see that video, please subscribe to the other channel. That video will probably out in a couple of days or so. Enough about that. I'm going to be shooting the cameras from sticks or tripod, so we can get the picture quality as close as possible, because it is very hard to duplicate shots. So enjoy the footage from my hometown here in Malmo, Sweden, and in the end of the video you will have my conclusions, where I've actually been at the computer and worked with the files to see how big the difference the Ninja makes when connected to the Panasonic GH5. Enjoy.
Once again you're gonna drop me down. Words for you are nothing but a sound. Don't you see? You don't fool anyone. Your life to me is buried in the ground. Never hit the apple in the garden. Guilt and sadness run into your veins. said, great honors are great burdens. For sure, you've always lived behind the curtains. Too slowly, I come to realize you're not the one that I know. I'm sorry. Say farewell to little sparrow. Never hit the apple in the garden. Guilt and sadness run into your veins. Never hit the apple in the garden. Guilt and sadness run into your veins.
So hi there everybody, I'm back at the office. I've been reviewing the footage from both the cameras, the Panasonic GH5 together with the Atomos Ninja and the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K camera. And I really like what I'm seeing here. First and foremost, I know that there are a lot of people who are wondering why should we even care about ProRes, why should we have an Atomos Ninja and as an external recorder. And the thing is that ProRes is in a very efficient codec and you get very nice files that will likely play very nice on your computer, so you don't have to care about downgrading your timeline to 1080p or even lower than that. You can very often play the 4K footage straight on your timeline without caring about transcoding. That is really nice. When recording externally to something like the Atomos Ninja or any other kinds of recordings, you bypass the internal computer from your cameras and let the Ninja do basically all the work, and sometimes that can result in better files when it comes to quality. You probably will have the same dynamic range, but you can have different color profiles to your footage, and that is also really nice. So what about my test then? Looking at the files, I can actually see that the Panasonic GH5 footage with the Ninja is sharper than the footage from the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K camera, and it's quite a lot sharper, but that was to be expected because the GH5 has a 20 megapixel sensor and it's downscaling that to a 4K image. The Panasonic GH5 is even sharper than the Ursa Mini 4.6K Pro. So I was expecting the Panasonic GH5 to be sharper. With that said, the footage that comes from the pocket camera is very organic. I like it. You can really stretch the footage when it comes to colors without seeing any degrading. What I have to say, and that applies to both of the cameras, is that protect your highlights, because if you do blow out your highlights, you're gonna have a hard time recovering them, at least in ProRes. I could see on the footage that the Blackmagic was a little bit wider, and that was also expected. It's not by much, but it is there, so you will get a little bit of wider field of view when using the same lenses as on the Panasonic GH5. So what is my verdict when it comes to these two cameras? Which is the best? Well, I really feel that the Blackmagic Pocket has a very nice look. It's more organic. It's a little bit softer, but the softness can be sharpened, and I'm not a fan of very sharp cameras. I know that a lot of the DSLRs or the mirrorless cameras are very sharp. The Panasonic GH5 is very sharp, the Sonys are very sharp. But if you want a really filmic look, I would go with a pocket camera. I really love the look of the footage here, and I also love the colors. It's a little bit warmer than the Panasonic GH5, but that you can change depending on which picture profiles you use on the different cameras. But all in all, I'm very happy with the footage from both these cameras with the Ninja. I have two videos coming up in the following days. The first one is going to be on the Booster YouTube channel, where I'm going to compare the Blackmagic Pocket 4K to the Blackmagic Ursa 4.6K Pro. and I'm really looking forward to doing that test. And my video after that is going to be on this channel, and that's going to be the Panasonic GH5 internal codec versus the codec coming out of the Atomos Ninja. So if you want to see those two videos, please subscribe, and if you have any questions for me, please ask them in comments and I'll get back to you as fast as I can. And until the next time, bye bye.